Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems, locally owned, family owned for nearly 20 years. These folks are the very best in the area when it comes to security and life safety systems for your home or your business, for your employees, for your family. Call a local company, get quicker, immediate answers and aid. Safety Systems, and plenty of VFLs working over there, starting J.J. Surlis. Give him a shout this week. All right, rapid fire questions and answers. I'm going to start down there. We'll work our way this way. I'm going to try and fight off a sneeze as well. Phillip Fulmer. Phillip Fulmer wasn't going to take the job on an interim level, it said. He wanted the full-time gig. Looks like it's a 2-year deal. Chuck, is Phillip Fulmer the right man for this job right now?
Yes. I mean, because it was clear you had to do something after John Curry made the trip to the West Coast. So if you're going to make a change, who are you going to turn to? You have to turn to somebody to first bring everybody back together and give them hope that you're going to do the right thing. Phillip Fulmer's that guy.
I think he's also motivated. I mean, he's got something to prove that he shouldn't have been forced out in 2008. I think that's a good thing. The fact that, not that he was forced out in 2008, the fact that he's probably wanting to stick it to some people. He's wanting to show what he can do. I think that's probably a positive working for him. In terms of unity, here's a message he put out on Twitter last night. I'll leave that up there so you can read it. It's kind of small. I don't know if you can read it. Heck, I don't know that I can read it. This is an important time in our athletic history. We all agree on the objective. We all agree on the urgency. It's time that we all get together to be a part of the revival, whatever. Ryan, it's a good message. But here's the thing. Unifying the fan base, unifying the factions, that's all great. Can one man fix all that needs to be fixed over there? Is this all right, they got the AD in place, we're good? Or is there a lot more to do?
I think there's still more to do. You're never going to get everybody on the same page with all the different interests. And we touched on it earlier. Who's in power? There's still, last week there was a bit of a power struggle going on behind the scenes. Has all that been sorted out? So I think having Phillip Fulmer in place solidifies things, makes everyone feel better. I think they feel like they got a Tennessee guy in charge. John Curry was to an extent, but they feel like they really have someone who has Tennessee's best interests at heart. That helps, but it doesn't solve everything behind the scenes.
Jimmy Hobbs, 3 veteran national reporters, Andy Staples, Brett McMurphy, who's really good, and Bruce Feldman, all said on Friday that they had been told by multiple industry sources that factions inside the program, including Fulmer, had been trying to sabotage Curry's search in the hopes of getting Fulmer into the AD chair. Now, there are a lot of people who say, well, they're just listening to John Curry. That's not how it works. I don't think they would call John Curry an industry source. I don't think that's how these guys work. But do you believe that could have been at play?
I think it could have been. I know there's a former Tennessee coach that thinks it could have been. But here's the thing too, and I think Phillip Fulmer has a lot of good traits, but I think he has a long memory, and I don't really believe he ever forgave John Curry for his role in Fulmer getting fired years ago. So I think it's possible.
I'll say this: if you just look at what happened with Majors, and we talked about it as well, seemed to be David Blackburn thought that Phillip Fulmer was supporting him, and then David Blackburn was surprised in that AD search. When Phillip Fulmer was named the special advisor to DiPietro, I said on this show, if I'm John Curry, I pay attention to the fact that Frank Underwood from House of Cards is now talking to my boss. Phillip Fulmer, this may work in his favor. He might be the best political operative I have ever seen in the sports world. It's outstanding at what he does with that. I would think that's probably a possibility. I'm guessing some of the boosters that backed him more than happy to take place in it if they're going to get more power out of it too. Bob Hodge, one guy took a hit this week for supporting the attempted Schiano hire. Peyton Manning. Were you surprised that Peyton Manning took a hit?
I was kind of surprised. And here's the thing. This is validation for something that we have long said when people go, Peyton Manning is coach. Yeah. No. Peyton Manning is your all-time hero at this university right now as far as a former player, at least one of them. And it took this to get people mad at Peyton Manning. That Peyton Manning, the only thing he was doing with this was angling for an NFL job with the Haslams. That was the only thing he was doing here. And so, yeah, I'm surprised he took a hit, but this is the reason you don't bring back legends to be your coaches.
Didn't take a coaching move to get people upset. I mean, that's the thing. Imagine if he'd blown a third down call.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Really. I think.
And I think this is the first time he's ever experienced this kind
there
of
was a
blowback.
little bit with when Fulmer got passed over from Curry. There was a little bit. I think this added to it, though.
Yeah.
Because even then, there were people that were saying, well, he was just going along. He didn't really believe it. He didn't really want Curry. He was just putting a face on it. Well, now it's 2 for 2, so I don't think you can say that anymore. But took a hit, interestingly. I don't think it'll be a long-lasting hit, and I'm guessing it's not with the majority either. All right, when we come back, what are we doing? Yes. Will more heads roll at Tennessee when this search is done? And also, what if the Haslams pack up their cash and take it away? What happens? Come on back on the Sports Source.